A remake of Dragon Ball GT, a possibility of revisiting one of the most iconic transformations in the entire series, Super Saiyan 4, and with that, the addition of many things could come, just like many animes in their remakes that in some way brought something new for the fanbase to expand. Dragon Ball GT could have this reason, aiming even in some way after its remake to bring Super Saiyan 4 and make it canonical, and the multiverse is here to open this possibility, since Trunks has a time machine and created other alternate realities, just like the current one we see. Could there be news coming? Definitely yes, get ready. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and activate the bell. We could have a remake of Dragon Ball GT, even though it's not something canonical, but it became very popular because of Super Saiyan 4. Although this transformation didn't reach the same level of fame during its original airing, it became one of the most iconic and remembered moments of the series, especially among the most loyal fans. Nowadays, many fans consider Super Saiyan 4 one of the most powerful and visually impressive transformations of the franchise, much of it due to the fact that they created a repetition, just changing the hair, which kind of left Super Saiyan 3 aside. But this transformation, Super Saiyan 4, brings a magical connection with the Saiyans and Ozaru, which, although it had little screen time, the total screen time of Ozaru can vary depending on the specific scenes and episodes. However, in general, it appears at key moments, and usually in fight scenes that take up a significant part of the episodes. Despite its relatively rare appearances, Ozaru is an important and memorable transformation in the Dragon Ball series, highlighting the Saiyan heritage and the incredible destructive power of the characters. Because of that, fans felt that this transformation truly represents the race, something natural, and that's why many wish it were canon. Not necessarily the story itself, but if there were a remake, they could change a lot to make it feel more habitual. Dragon Ball GT had a reasonable performance during its original airing, but didn't reach the same success as Dragon Ball Z. At the time of its release, the series had an average share of 14.6% in Japan, with peaks of up to 19.7% in the second episode. In comparison, Dragon Ball Z often surpassed 20% in share. Nowadays, reviews of Dragon Ball GT are mixed. On IMDb, the series has a rating of 6.8 out of 10. Some people still appreciate the series for its iconic transformations like Super Saiyan 4 and characters like Pan, while others consider the story and character development inferior to its predecessors. But this doesn't prevent them from bringing a remake and changing things, or giving more screen time to some characters. Imagining a Dragon Ball GT remake is like daydreaming with a universe of possibilities that mix nostalgia and innovation. With the recent announcement of Dragon Ball Daima, which brings a new perspective to the franchise's legacy, the idea of revisiting GT becomes even more intriguing. Let's dive deep into this possibility, exploring how this remake could look, the stories that could be told, the art style that would bring this new vision to life, and how it would compare to Daima in terms of style, fan retention, and fan service. First, the world of animation has evolved tremendously since the original debut of Dragon Ball GT. A remake could take advantage of current technologies to deliver a visually stunning experience. The art style would be a harmonious fusion between Akira Toriyama's classic style and modern animation trends. This would result in characters with more refined designs, more detailed facial expressions, and fluid movements that would highlight the intensity of the battles and the emotion of the commerce scenes. Comparing it to Dragon Ball Daima, which seems to adopt a style, mixing the traditional with the modern, but with a focus on younger versions of the characters, the GT remake could take a different path. While Daima explores youth and perhaps a lighter narrative, the GT remake would have the chance to delve into more mature themes, reflecting the growth of the characters and facing challenges that resonate both with the older audience and the new generation. The stories in a GT remake could be reimagined to offer a more cohesive and deeper narrative. In the original GT, Goku is transformed into a child due to an accidental wish, which starts a journey through the universe in search of the Black Star Dragon Balls. This premise could be maintained, but with more solid motivations and more robust character development. For example, the remake could explore the relationship between Goku, Pan, and Trunks during their space adventures. Pan, in particular, could have a significant personal growth arc. In the original, she was often portrayed as impatient and impulsive. But in the remake, we could see her evolve from a determined young girl to a confident warrior, learning from challenges and the wisdom of Goku. Dragon Ball GT, despite being an official continuation of the Dragon Ball saga, did not have the same warm reception as its predecessors. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, fans often mention issues related to the plot, character development, and consistency with the original material created by Akira Toriyama. One of the most common criticisms is the direction the story took, with arcs that failed to maintain the same level of engagement and depth as the previous ones. Additionally, design choices, like turning Goku into a child again, were seen as regressive and unnecessary. The series also faced pacing issues, with certain arcs being considered slow and poorly structured. Comparing it to Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, both had their own challenges. Dragon Ball Z faced pacing and animation quality issues that were addressed in Dragon Ball Z Kai, a re-edit that removed fillers and improved visual quality. Dragon Ball Super brought new stories and characters, but was also criticized for inconsistent pacing and variable animation quality, although it managed to win back many fans with exciting arcs and a significant expansion of the Dragon Ball universe. If we look at the improvements brought by Dragon Ball Z Kai, we can see that the remastering of the animation, the new soundtrack, and the removal of fillers made the series more accessible and enjoyable for modern viewers. However, there was still room for improvement in pacing and further development of arcs and characters. A Dragon Ball GT remake could address many of these issues. First, the series could be restructured to fix pacing issues, making the arcs more cohesive and dynamic. The animation quality could be updated to meet modern standards, using advanced technologies to create more impressive scenes. The story could be adjusted to better align with the original material and expand character development, incorporating elements from Dragon Ball Super, like the Gods of Destruction and the multiverse. Moreover, a remake could explore new opportunities for character development, bringing depth and nuances that were missing in the original version. This could include integrating popular characters from the films and other Dragon Ball media, creating a more cohesive and interconnected universe. The importance of a Dragon Ball GT remake lies in the opportunity to revisit and revitalize a part of the franchise that, despite its flaws, still holds a place in the hearts of fans. With the celebration of Dragon Ball's 40 years in 2024, it would be the perfect moment for Toei Animation to reimagine Dragon Ball GT, correcting its mistakes and bringing a version that honors the series' legacy while attracting a new generation of fans. Even more so, now that many are opting for remakes in their works due to streaming services that have grown significantly in the search for anime. Streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and Disney Plus are betting on anime remakes for several reasons. First, these projects have a guaranteed audience potential due to nostalgia and brand recognition. Anime fans are more likely to watch a new version, which helps retain and attract subscribers. Additionally, creating a remake is generally less expensive than developing a new intellectual property from scratch, since there's already a script, characters, and an established audience. There are some anime remakes where the story has been altered or expanded, and characters have received more screen time. A notable example is the 2019 remake of Fruits Basket. The original 2001 version didn't cover the entire manga, and some parts of the story were omitted or altered. In the 2019 remake, the story was faithfully adapted from the manga, covering all the arcs and giving more depth to the characters. This resulted in a more cohesive and exciting plot. Another example is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. The first Full Metal Alchemist anime, released in 2003, diverged from the manga at several points, creating an original storyline when it reached the source material that was still being written. In 2009, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was released as a more faithful remake, following the original story and giving more screen time to characters who were underrated in the first adaptation. Hunter x Hunter 2011 is another interesting case. The remake was created to be more faithful to the manga compared to the 1999 series. In addition to following the original plot more closely, it also included arcs and characters that were not covered in the original version, thereby expanding the narrative and enriching the viewer's experience. These remakes are generally well received because they offer a new perspective on familiar stories, maintaining the essence of the original, but providing a more complete and satisfying experience. They also allow new fans to discover these stories in a more modern and accessible way. There are also animes like One Piece, which has recently made the decision to remake the anime. The motivation behind this was driven by several factors. First, Wit Studio wanted to address pacing issues, aspect ratio, and animation quality that affected the viewer's experience. Another important reason was the intention to attract a new generation of fans. Wit Studio wanted to create a version that would be more appealing to younger viewers who are accustomed to modern animation and high-quality visuals. Eiichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, also expressed his desire for more people to experience this incredible story, expanding the anime's global reach. In short, the remake aims to modernize the series, enhance the visual experience, and attract new fans while keeping the essence intact. The last time Dragon Ball received a remake was in 2009 with the debut of Dragon Ball Z Kai. This was a re-editing of the original Dragon Ball Z, with a new remaster, soundtrack, and the removal of fillers. Although the decision to reuse footage from the original Dragon Ball Z instead of creating new animation was controversial, Kai was a moderate success and was one of the first steps in the resurrection of Dragon Ball in the 21st century. Recently, there has been a lot of speculation about a possible remake of the classic Dragon Ball anime. During the New York Comic Con in October 2023, a teaser trailer was released that sparked a new wave of speculation about the potential content of a new Dragon Ball project. Many fans are hoping the event will reveal a television continuation of Dragon Ball Super or a new version of the original Dragon Ball anime. Additionally, the animation director of Dragon Ball Super, superhero Takashi Kubota, stated in a recent interview that he would love to work on a remake of the classic anime. He mentioned that if Toei Animation were interested in such a project, he would like to be part of the team responsible. With the Dragon Ball manga celebrating its 40th anniversary in 2024, many fans believe this is the perfect time for Toei Animation to revisit the source material and create a modern version of the anime. Discussions about a possible remake were reignited thanks to the 2-minute prologue in the opening of the film Dragon Ball Super. Superhero, which recaps the events of the Red Ribbon Army and Cell arcs in a 2D style. In short, it seems there is a lot of expectation and speculation around a potential remake of classic Dragon Ball, and fans are eager to see if Toei Animation will bring this project to life soon. And taking this hook, they could also bring GT, even though there's no speculation about that. It's all unpredictable. In terms of style and animation, a remake of GT could use the advanced techniques seen in films like Dragon Ball Super, Broly and Dragon Ball Super, Superhero. With a combination of traditional animation and high-quality CGI, the battles would be true visual spectacles. The action sequences could be choreographed with intricate details, fluid movements, and stunning light effects, increasing the immersion of the viewer. The soundtrack would also play an important role. New music composed to highlight key moments of the narrative could be combined with reimagined versions of classic themes. This would create an atmosphere that is both familiar and exciting, striking a chord of nostalgia, while thrilling the audience with new elements. But of course, the most iconic song from Dragon Ball GT is undoubtedly Dan Dan Kokoro Hikaretaka, Gradually You're Charming My Heart, by the group Field of View. This opening song is loved by many fans, and is often associated with the series. It managed to capture the essence and spirit of Dragon Ball GT in a way that many consider irreplaceable. If there were a remake, keeping Dan Dan Kokoro Hikaretaka would be a wonderful way to honor the original and maintain an emotional connection with the old fans. The song has an upbeat rhythm and a catchy melody that became emblematic of the series. Changing it could risk losing the nostalgia and charm that so many fans love. So, it's safe to say that Dan Dan Kokoro Hikaretaka is a musical piece that should not leave Dragon Ball GT in case of a remake. It plays a crucial role in maintaining the emotional connection with the fans and preserving the essence of the anime. Now, the villain baby is another element that could be expanded. His origin as a survivor of the Tsufurugians and his desire for revenge against the Saiyans offers fertile ground for a complex narrative. The remake could delve into his backstory, exploring the moral conflict between justice and revenge, and how his actions impact the universe. This would add layers of depth to the villain, making him more than just a powerful opponent, but an antagonist with understandable motivations. To wrap up the video, one thing that could be banned from Dragon Ball GT would be the Blutz Ray. The Blutz Ray in Dragon Ball GT was an invention of the Tsufurugians, specifically Baby, to trigger the transformation into Super Saiyan 4. In the events of the anime, Baby Vegeta uses this technology to transform into Golden Ozaru and then into Super Saiyan 4. Later, Bulma creates an improved version of this ray to help Vegeta achieve Super Saiyan 4. The introduction of the Blutz Ray was a creative solution to allow Vegeta, who had lost his tail, to transform. However, some fans felt this was an artificial and unnecessary solution that diminished the impact of the transformation. Many prefer natural transformations that rely on the inner strength and emotions of the characters. Vegeta is one of the most beloved characters in the franchise, known for his pride, determination, and the long journey he took to become a hero. For some fans, the use of the Blutz Ray seemed like a shortcut that wasn't worthy of the character's development. They felt that Vegeta deserved a more organic and deserved transformation, without the need for an external device. And they agree. That's it for today, guys. See you next time.